Welcome to Friday Night Funkin mod review. I'm Hegemony, and I want to quickly apologize for not uploading. We had a whole reaction and review planned for this video, but Premiere Pro handed my hardware the quick left swipe and said fuck you, so I never finished editing that video. On top of some disorganization and demotivation because of these issues, it took me a while to cave in and do a standard review. If you want to see a first cut of the reaction, you can check the description or pinned comment for the video, but enough about our problems. Matt Deluxe, or Matt DX, is a Matt alternate universe in which a monster-drinking high school dropout boyfriend accompanied by his alt girlfriend battles against Matt after he couldn't afford to pay his taxes and lost his apartment. Bruh. This mod, in our opinion, is kind of bad, and since we haven't reviewed a bad mod, here we are. Also say hello to our new member, Snazzles.
Hi, you stupid gay people. I am Snazzles, and I totally came here willingly. I'm happy to be part of the channel now.
No more dilly-dally, run the disclaimer. Everything I said in this review is subjective and my opinion. You have no obligation to agree or disagree, and I encourage you to make your own opinions. These are simply my thoughts. If there's anything I missed or you want me to talk about, leave a comment. Also, I'm not trying to offend the creator of the mod or anybody who enjoys this mod. This review is going to be split into multiple parts. Art/animation, music, theme, charting, and overall, all rated from 0 to 5. This way, I can break down mods into parts and speak on them individually. Quick reminder that I am by no means an expert in any of these fields, but I'll do my best to speak upon them. Art and animation is actually the most redeemable quality of this mod. While it's not great, it's kinda passable. The background is actually pretty nice with everything being in red and the purple starry night to accompany it. The characters in the back should have had some darker shades however, that way they would stand out more but not enough to interrupt the foreground. Speaking of foreground, what the heck is going on with boyfriend and girlfriend?
To be honest, I quite like the new designs of the alternate two. With the real boyfriend and girlfriend being in the background, it gives some leeway to some new designs, and they're not bad. Honestly, Hegemony summed up boyfriend perfectly. A monster drinking dropout, and girlfriend looking like a Twitter cat girl who does questionable side content. It's all pretty harmless, to be honest. A nice color palette, cool designs. I don't know what's... What is that? Snazzles, what is he doing? What the hell is he doing?
This is your brain on Monster. Any questions? I personally don't really like these new designs, but that is mostly because I'm very used to seeing the original BF and GF models, and I don't really see the point of changing them for this mod specifically. For other mods that remix the original game, they update BF and GF's designs or coloring to match the mod's theme, such as FNF- and Soft Mod. But for this mod, it doesn't really have a theme besides making Matt's songs even more difficult for little to no reason other than hee hee Michael brr. And the new designs for BF and GF don't match each other, nor do they match Matt's design. It is a very mixed aesthetic and it doesn't make sense to me. To improve this, I would have GF and BF look more tired or relaxed to match Matt's new casual hoodie. You see those eye bags? That poor man is just done, and I feel like having GF and BF look as tired as him would make for an interesting concept. Like having all of them just be so tired of doing such difficult songs together.
Art is a safe 2.5. You know, 100 gecs aren't musical masterminds, but I'd much rather listen to Money Machine on repeat than listen to this mod's rendition of Boxing Match. The music in this mod is just stupid. It takes everything good about the original Matt mod and turns it into an amalgamation of noise. Light It Up just sounds like the original, but they copy and pasted the vocals. Ruckus has an unfitting instrumental, like most of the other songs in this mod, and just sounds choppy and jarring, especially at the fast part. Target Practice sounds dumb, and extending the last fast part only extended my suffering. Then we have the final song of the final week. Final Lesson. And oh my god, it sounds pretty alright. Until the fast part where it all goes downhill and into a burning pit of fire.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f-
Dude, I actually had hope for Final Lesson as well. It sucked to see the path it went down like a minute in after it got good. Yeah, the music on this mod is questionable at best. It kinda took all the musical aspects from the original mod and hooked it up on like 3 straight years of cocaine in a single sitting, so take for that what you will. I could kinda see why this choice was gone down with a different motive for Matt and all, but it could have been presented in a much better way than just a harder chart. One thing that I really don't like is the use of the original Matt soundboard. Don't worry, it'll make sense as I continue. Matt's sound clips for the original mod were made for that specific sound. The way it was cut and mastered, it would only go for a sound similar to the original soundtrack. If it were to be changed or moved to another mod, the soundboard would have to be changed or altered in some kind of way, and a good example of this was done in the Matt x Shaggy mod. Matt has a different sound, his voice clips being longer and different, having different pitched voice clips sometimes, and using some of them in ways that the original mod didn't do itself, and it translated over really well. Listen to the song Power Link on the OST and you'll understand what I mean. This mod, however, just didn't. Wait a second, yeah, it did! The original song used its own way of coming across the soundboard, whilst even giving BF a new sound palette too. And it really did work, much better sound-wise for the mod. To be honest, if that sound palette was used for the entire mod, I think it would have helped in making it at least a little bit more bearable to listen to. But hey, that didn't happen, so here we are.
Suffering in garbage noise.
Music gets a 1. The songs need complete revamping. The original samples can be used so much better than this and so much more uniformly. The theme was attempted, I'll give it that. The original Matt mod's theme seemed to center around taking on a tough undefeated opponent, and Matt's slow descent into anger as he loses his mind trying to beat someone who's more undefeatable than himself. Foam ranted to me about original boxing match and how the whole song basically represents Matt's actions and thought process. Example being after the first drop, when he slows down to catch his breath before jumping right back into the jack heaven. This mod's theme seems to be something like that, except Matt doesn't really lose his cool, he's just supposed to be a tough adversary, and I get that, but it doesn't really have much to show for it.
Side note, I'll probably talk about the rant in a more concise or maybe scripted way at some point. I really do want to show people my thoughts about Boxing Match and the Matt OST as a whole, and maybe we can upload it as a small video. If anyone wants to hear, drop a comment I guess. To be honest, the theme is really the most untapped part of the entire mod, and as a person who strives for creativity and uniqueness in almost everything, it really does make me disappointed. It's clear that a theme was there, but was held back by some sort of corner cutting, or maybe some idea changing, trying to show his character through the dumb charting. It makes sense on paper, but looking at other amazing story-based mods like Shaggy 2.5, the Entity mod and other ones, hard charting cannot carry an entire story or define a character.
Referencing back to what I said in the art and animation section, I can't really tell what the theme is. Sure, Matt's songs are hard enough to break a poor man's fingers, but what else is there? Kool-Aid BF, Goth GF, Homeless Matt, and the background don't give any hints of what the central idea of the mod is. The dialogue between BF and Matt doesn't help either. They just talk about training and upping the difficulty after each song. What they say and how they look doesn't impact the story of the mod much.
I reckon theme is a 1.5. They get points for trying, but goddamn is the dialogue so boring and everything else is just lacking. Spaghetti chart isn't even a good enough way to describe the charting in this mod. The charting is uglier than a Bored Ape NFT what is actually going on. Original Matt's charts were never that good in the first place, even after the update that improved them. This all has to do with the nature of Matt's songs, but at least the original Matt could make something enjoyable out of it. Original Boxing Match may contain an overabundance of jacks, but at least those were more uniform and used in the most appropriate way possible. This Matt DX mod, however, just opens the chart editor, shoves a bunch of notes into a trash heap, throws it onto the grid and hopes the splatter will make something good. Some parts of the chart are just completely ripped from the original Matt charts, like, why?
What is... You know, nah, screw that. Nah, Snazzles, you can have this one, I don't care, nah.
Seeing all the jacks makes me want to cry. As someone who isn't a god of rhythm games, Gemini!
He full cleared! Oh, flip that, man.
I really dislike obscenely difficult charting. It's not just because I'm a salty poo head that needs to get good, but I feel like mods like these shut the door of opportunity for so many players. I understand that we need harder mods for players who want to challenge, but when you get a big old clusterfuck of notes that only a couple people can possibly play, it bars other players from checking out the mod on their own and doesn't allow them to experience it to its fullest. But hey, are we really missing out when the mod doesn't offer much?
Playing this was not a fun experience, especially on a buggy engine. The clusters of notes and ridiculous spam made me give up and mash DFJK like my life depended on it. Even those parts that weren't just spam had some really questionable choices in them. Not all is terrible, however. The rip parts from the original map charts are alright to play, and Ruckus's drop was decent, but that's about where the praise ends. Everything is just a jumbled mess, and the charts can never decide what they want to be. The first step to fixing the charts would be to revamp the original songs and try to make something more uniform out of it. Scrap all the random jacks and clusters of trills and maybe do something similar to King at Fifi. Maybe then it would actually be somewhat decent. Charting can hold a firm 1.5. I really didn't enjoy it. Even some bad charts can be redeemable, but I barely feel it with these. This mod could have been so much better than it is. There are so many map alternate universes, and this one just fell so short. The entire mod could do with a revamp to fix the many glaring issues that we stated prior.
Over everything, I'm more just confused and, to be honest, quite disappointed that this was the route the mod went down. It's so obviously clear that there's potential in this mod, and that its creator must have some kind of vision, but this just isn't the way to go about it. The best thing you could do now is try and find something original. Well, as original as you can get in the Friday Night Funkin' community, or just go back to the mod and give it a really good shakedown. Expand the story through animations, dialogue and new characters, and change the charting so it actually makes sense and be fun to play, rather than be the visual representation of my overactive brain at 2 in the morning. Or maybe I'm just completely wrong and this mod was just meant to be dumb and hard, when in that case, fine, so be it. But that's just my thoughts on it, to be honest.
I agree with them. There is just a lot of lost potential and could have made an interesting alternate mat mod. With a bit more dedication, creativity, and less pain, it could make a pretty interesting mod. But for now, we just have a mess.
Overall, this mod can take a 1.6. I hope it gets revised. I finally uploaded. Not sure if I'll have another review before Christmas because it's, Christmas and everybody wants to be with their family and friends. So Merry Christmas to everybody watching. I hope everybody has a good time, and on that note, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Subscribe, like, share, comment, do it all, folks. Merry Christmas.